Hello students, the chapter Combustion and Flame is started, and in the earlier videos I told you about the definition of combustion, examples and conditions necessary for combustion. Also I told you about the history of matchstick and I showed you one activity about ignition temperature. Now the next topic, that is how do we control fire. See, if we know the conditions necessary for combustion, then we can control fire. Fire is also necessary for us. Without fire, we cannot cook food. But fire, when breaks out in a house, an office, a factory, an oil tanker, a petrol pump, or an electrical equipment, then the fire is harmful. It can cause loss of life and property. So, we should know how to control fire to save ourselves from getting damaged. Okay, so if we know the conditions necessary for combustion, then we can control fire. Any fire needs three things to be present. These are fuels, that means combustible substance, air or oxygen, that means oxygen is present in air. So oxygen is necessary for combustion and heating the substance to attain ignition temperature. If any of these three things is removed, then the burning will stop and fire will be extinguished. Thus, a fire can be extinguished in three ways: by removing the fuel. Fuel means combustible substances. If fire starts in a room, all the combustible substances like furnitures, clothes, and books, etc., should be removed at once so that fire may not spread. If possible, cooking gas cylinder should be removed and electricity should be switched off. If the fire is near a pile of wood that could provide fuel to keep the fire going, the pile of wood should be removed from there as soon as possible. It is, however, usually not possible to remove all the combustible materials from the place of fire. So, the first uh, measure is to stop the spreading of fire. Second process is by removing the heat. That means for start burning, a substance should be heated up to its ignition temperature. If we can cool the burning substance below its ignition temperature, then the fire will extinguish. So, when water is thrown on a burning substance, it gets cooled below its ignition temperature and stops burning. The fire brigade men does the same thing. When they throw water on the burning substance, they throw actually strong stream of water on a building if it is on fire. The burning materials get cooled to below their ignition temperatures and fire is extinguished. When the water is thrown on the burning substance, the water vapor is produced by the action of heat of fire on water. And this water vapor also surrounds the burning material and helps in cutting off the supply of air. So, when water is thrown on burning substance, it controls fire in two ways: by lowering the temperature of the burning substance below ignition temperature and also by cutting off the supply of oxygen to the burning substance too. Next process is by cutting off the air supply to the burning substances. This can be done by applying sand, carbon dioxide fire extinguisher, or by applying a blanket or a damp cloth. When Carbon dioxide gas fire extinguisher is applied in burning substance on burning substances. It surrounds the burning substance like a blanket, and oxygen cannot reach the burning substance and thus the fire get extinguished. Carbon dioxide fire extinguisher. Carbon dioxide is a gas which is denser than air. Carbon dioxide is also present in air but in a very little amount. Carbon dioxide gas can be stored as a liquid in a cylinder at high pressure, like we get LPG cylinder or cooking gas. When released from the cylinder, it expands enormously in volume and cools down. When it cools down, that means it lowers the ignition temperature of the burning substance below ignition temperature. It denser than air and forms a layer around the burning substances and thus cut off the supply of oxygen to the burning substance. Fire caused by oil or electricity cannot be extinguished by throwing water because water is lighter than oil and thus it makes a layer below the oil, and the burning oil will continue burning over the layer of water. Thus, no use of throwing water on the fire which is caused by oil like petrol, diesel, kerosene, or cooking oil, etc. And we cannot throw water when the fire is caused by electrical equipment or electrical short circuit, because water is a conductor of normal water or ordinary water, tap water is a conductor of electricity. So when we throw water into burning electrical equipments, then it conducts electricity to the person trying to douse the fire. So it is dangerous. In those cases, we should use carbon dioxide fire extinguisher. Then we can control or extinguish the fire. Moreover, carbon dioxide gas do not harm the electrical equipment also. So, carbon dioxide fire extinguisher is considered as excellent fire extinguisher. See, this is a cylinder of carbon dioxide gas fire extinguisher. So, this cylinder contains carbon dioxide gas and used to extinguish fire when something is burning. If we don't have this kind of fire extinguisher cylinder, then we can use some chemicals like sodium bicarbonate or potassium bicarbonate over the fire. When we throw these chemical substances on the fire, the heat of fire decomposes these chemicals to produce carbon dioxide gas. And then this gas surrounds the burning substance like a blanket and cut off the supply of oxygen to extinguish fire. Fire can also be extinguished by throwing sand over it. Fire can be extinguished by covering the burning substances with a blanket or by using a wet cloth. Suppose you have seen a person whose clothes are burning. How can we help the person to extinguish the fire? We should cover the person's body with a blanket or with a wet cloth, or we may make him roll on the ground. This will help cutting off the supply of oxygen to the burning clothes of the person, and thus it stops burning. Types of combustion. Rapid combustion. The combustion reaction in which a large amount of heat and light are produced in a short time is called rapid combustion. When we bring a lighted matchstick or a lighter near the burner of a gas stove in the kitchen, the cooking gas starts burning at once. producing a lot of heat and some light. So, the immediate burning of cooking gas, that is LPG, in a gas stove to give heat and light is an example of rapid combustion. Spontaneous combustion, the combustion reaction in which occurs on its own without the help of any external heat, is called spontaneous combustion. For example, burning of white phosphorus. Spontaneous combustion takes place at room temperature. The heat required for spontaneous combustion is produced inside the substance by its low oxidation. Spontaneous combustion is usually undergo by those substances which have quite low ignition temperatures. White phosphorus is a substance which undergoes spontaneous combustion. In other words, white phosphorus burns in air at room temperature. So, if we keep a piece of white phosphorus in a china dish, we will see that it catches fire by itself and starts burning without being heated. The burning of white phosphorus on its own at room temperature is an example of spontaneous combustion. Spontaneous combustion reactions which takes place in nature are very dangerous. For example, the spontaneous combustion of coal dust has resulted in many disastrous fires in coal mines, leading to death of many persons working in deep coal mines. Forest fires can also be started by spontaneous combustion reaction, sometimes due to the heat of the sun or due to the spark of lightning from the sky. Spontaneous combustion of straw and forest wood takes place leading to forest fire. Explosive combustion, the very fast combustion reaction in which a large amount of heat, light, and sound are produced, is called explosive combustion. For example, burning of fireworks or firecrackers in the festival time. Fuels, a material which is burnt to produce heat, is called a fuel. Fuels are used to cook food in the in our houses. Fuel is also used for running motor vehicles and factory machines, or it can be converted into electrical energy at thermal power stations. And this electrical energy is then used for various purposes. Fuels are of three types: solid fuels, liquid fuels, and gaseous fuels. Solid fuels, for example, wood, coal, cow dung cakes, etc. Liquid fuels, kerosene, petrol, diesel, etc. Gaseous fuels, LPG, CNG, biogas, etc. Now, the very important part of this chapter is fuel efficiency or calorific value of fuels. See, all the persons are working, but a person can work more and other person can work less. So who is the efficient? The person who can work more in short period of time. That person is efficient, more efficient. So the efficiency of the person can be calculated on the basis of the work performed by him. So fuels are also of that type. That means some fuels are more efficient and some are less efficient. So the efficiency of the fuel also can be calculated in the terms of calorific value. Some fuels produce more heat whereas other fuels produce less heat. The efficiency of a fuel is expressed in the term of its calorific value. The amount of heat produced by the complete burning or complete combustion of 1 kilogram of a fuel is called its calorific value. The unit of calorific value is kilojoules per kilogram. Here is a table which is showing the calorific values of different fuels. You see, cow dung cakes have 6000 to 8000 kilojoule per kg calorific value. Wood 17,000 to 22,000 kilojoule per kg. Like that, you see, petrol has 45,000 kilojoule per kg calorific value. So if and LPG, the calorific value of LPG is 55,000 kilojoule per kg. By saying that the calorific value of LPG is 55,000 kilojoule per kg, we mean that if 1 kilogram of LPG is burnt completely, then it will produce 55,000 kilojoules of heat energy. Characteristics of an ideal fuel or good fuel. An ideal fuel has the following characteristics. It has a high calorific value, that is, it produces a large amount of heat. It burns easily in air at a moderate rate. That is, it burns neither too fast nor too slow, like LPG. When it starts burning, we can control the burning of the LPG stove. Is it or not? With moderate rate, it burns. It has a proper ignition temperature, which is neither very low nor very high. If the ignition temperature of the fuel is will be very high, then it will be very difficult to start the substance to burning. And if it is very low, then sometimes it may starts burning at room temperature and we cannot control the fire. So it will be dangerous for us also. It does not produce any harmful gases or leaves any residue after burning. So, which means may not pollute the environment. It is cheap, readily available, and easy to transport. It should be cheap. Cheap. If it is costly, then everybody cannot afford it. So it should be cheap, readily available. It should be available easily so that every layman can buy it from the place. Like LPG is available in the LPG stores, so we can get it from there easily and easy to transport. LPG can be transport LPG or CNG also. These are clean fuel, do not produce any harmful products on burning, and can be transported easily, which comes under which comes in inside a cylinder in the form of liquid, and the cylinders can be transported from one place to other very easily.